Okay, so I'll give you a little bit of a background as to how drainage works at the airport. It's not always as intuitive as everyone thinks. But we have 20 stormwater ponds, and we have two dedicated ponds that are water treatment ponds for drainage water or stormwater that's impacted by de-icing operations. Because of the nature of Canadian aviation regulations and the fact that our mandate is to run a safe, efficient airport, we really need to put safety at the forefront of everything. And so de-icing does have to happen. It does result in the generation of glycol contaminated stormwater, but we have invested with our partners here at the airport, so that's the Fuel Consortium and the de-icing consortium and the airlines. We have invested in infrastructure that specifically segregates glycol impacted stormwater from what we would call clean stormwater or other stormwater on the site, and that glycol impacted stormwater is then treated. We do have much stricter drainage regulations at the airport than you would in the city, so our pipes are required to always drain the 1 in 100 year storm event, basically from anywhere on the airfield. As a result, we have some really, really large and deep infrastructure that spans over 4 kilometers in distance in some cases, because the airport is actually a pretty massive site. We're at about 22 square kilometers here at Calgary International Airport, so it's a fair amount of area. A lot of it is greenfield, in the sense that it's just grass growing beside runways and in fields. But in the areas where we do have to drain runways, taxiways, aprons where operations are happening, that infrastructure has to be very large. And it definitely, has posed some interesting challenges for us from a watershed scale. There's a lot of interaction with our storm water infrastructure and the groundwater system. A lot of the storm infrastructure is well below the water table, and so we do have to account for how we're going to be handling that infiltrating groundwater into our system. And again, we do have some dedicated annual treatment processes and dedicated water management operations to minimize the amount of that water that is actually getting into the creek, because groundwater coming out is a lot different quality from what is naturally just draining into the creek.